Hi, fellow traders. Well, today didn't end up as well as I wanted it to, but we are slowly falling into that summer lull. It, we're still seeing a little bit of volatility in the morning. We're still getting some decent moves, but then, later on in the day, it's just pretty much dead. Every now and then you'll get a pop or a sell off, but nothing really sustainable, nothing really tradable. So we're just going to have to continue to be patient and allow the market to come to us. We can't chase the market all day. We have to allow it to come to us. If we chase it, that's when we end up losing a couple bucks here and there. And we just slowly bleed our account out. And we don't want to do that. So this quote I have here, this is something that I've seen around, forever. I don't know who to attribute it to. Everybody uses it. But, it says slow success builds character, fast success builds ego. And it's pretty self-explanatory. But, I want to take it in another direction. When we look at success stories like Bill Gates or the late Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg, even some of the guys that we look up to in the trading industry, we may see them and it may look as if they were overnight successes, but they weren't. It took years of commitment, dedication, and sacrifice in order to get to where they are. And I know most of you've seen the Steve Jobs movies. There's a couple of them out there. I know a lot of you've probably seen the one about Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg. So they had to go through a lot to get to where they are. So, what I want to introduce you is a term called, or a phrase called mindful patience. And mindful patience is knowing how to act when you're waiting. It is patience with intention and persistence. So we're just not sitting there waiting for something to happen. There is we have intention, and we're waiting with persistence. We're not just sitting there, hoping something falls on us. So, and while we're waiting, we could be learning. We're observing, we're watching. I know I'm always into something while I'm waiting on the market to come back to me. So mindful patience is also aggressively listening and relentlessly learning so that you can build your capacity and build up your arsenal. In trading, our strategies and the things that we use to make money in the market, these are the times where we need to build that up, where we need to perfect it. And it's the times that we're patient and we're persistent with what we're doing. That's when we're going to pick up, most of the skills that we're going to need. It's really to ready yourself so you know how to catch the right opportunity when it comes. How to trade that stock when it shows up. How to take advantage of it, how to maximize that move. And, sometimes when it comes up, and we see this, especially in trading, that opportunity can come quickly and leave just as quickly. And what happens if we miss the opportunity? And, sometimes we end up trying to chase it. And the move is so quick, it's done. By the time we get in it, it's done. Mindful patience is taking all of the necessary steps to position yourself, for success. Even if this process takes time. And in trading, the process takes time. I don't care what anybody says. The process takes time to learn and for you to be able to implement it and execute in the market. So that's what I want you guys to really think about. This mindful patience. Knowing that we're not just waiting, that it's patience with intention, and persistence. All right, so let's look at what we did today. Today, this trade just didn't work. It's pretty much what it boils down to. The move just did not materialize. Now I know this stock ran up, but here at the open, it was showing some signs of weakness, that we were going to pull back. This ran up on a rumor, so to speak. There wasn't really any concrete talks on either side of the fence as to what was going on. So typically what happens with these is they'll run up and then they'll run out of steam, and people will realize, hey, this is a false, it's a false move. This is too soon to really be trading this. And so it starts to come back in, and that's exactly what I was looking for. We have the opening candle. Here's a 5-minute opening range low right here. And I got in right under the 5-minute opening range low. And this stock traded just like a stock on SSR. We got down here and could not lose this, this level here. We found some serious support. We sat here for 20 minutes and it didn't do anything. And then finally it just popped up. Luckily, I put my stop in with a lot of room, because this thing gave me a lot of slippage, maybe 12 cents the way it popped up. So, this one, it just didn't work. It was a good setup. It was a good look. We had good profit targets, good room to work, but it just didn't work. And this really should have been the first red day of this, micro account. It should have been the first red day. Monday and Tuesday really shouldn't have been red days. The reason why they were red is it was all self-inflicted. So, I'm giving myself a week to really get acclimated to, trading this small again. It's going to take a little bit of time to get, acclimated to it. Plus, I'm still, working the 5K account. So it's going to take, a minute. So I'm giving myself a week, and I'm not going to beat myself up too bad over this week. But, today, this was just one of those trades that just didn't work. And I did not think this had a whole lot in it for me to turn around and flip it. As you can see, the volume started to die in this, and I didn't have a whole lot of confidence in it going long. And eventually it got long and made, broke several high days. It didn't get too far, but it would have been enough to, make some profit. But this wasn't the cleanest of the moves, and I wasn't, I made the decision not to take this to the long side, because it might have come back and stopped me out again before it started to take off. But that was it. Minus 57.29, and we're gonna go on to tomorrow, and I would trade tomorrow just like I did today. The problem is, it seems like this week all of these stocks that were in the $10 to $40 range have dried up, and they're not making the moves. Last week they were on fire, and so I was really confident going into this week that we were going to be able to find these stocks and catch them. But, this week they just died. So we'll look tomorrow, see if we can get something, and really look to next week to see if stocks in that price range, the range that we need, that we're able to trade in, to see if they're going to materialize. So this day was done pretty early. Volatility, like I said, the volatility just dies really early, and there was just nothing for me to trade in this account. But the 5K account, really, I had a really, really awesome day. When I went to lunch, I'd had a solid day. And one trade after lunch turned it from a really good day to just an okay day. So let me see. I need to find the first trade. I got these in the wrong order here. All right, so RH, this was the opening range trade. We put in the first 5-minute candle, and we broke the first 5-minute low. I got in, and then it pulled against me. So whenever it does this, it goes back above the 5-minute opening range low, which happened to be right here on the 50. And that's why I didn't really draw a line here. It was right here on the 50. And sometimes it's going to go against you. So what I do is, if we lose this level, if this opening range level gets claimed, meaning this candle closes above this and then the next candle makes a new high, then I'm done. I'm out of it. But this did not claim. This did close above this level, but this candle kind of rejected here and started selling off. And ended up hitting my first two targets. I was gonna take some off here again at the 100 period right here, and then this was my final target. But we ended up bouncing, kind of in the middle of nowhere. We ended up bouncing, and ended up stopping out here. This was a little bit before break even, but I would have been stopped out at break even anyway. So either way, I would have been out of this. But I was still okay with it. Really, I hit 2 profit targets, had a really good, profit on this. You can see RH, $410 on this move here. So really, really solid move. Unfortunately, I didn't stay engaged because I was working, dealing with the trade in the other account. I didn't, I'm not going to focus on this. The 100% focus is on the other account. So I missed the secondary move that took it back down to my target here. And then I tried to see if we had an entry to get in under 112, but the thing tanked. I mean, we had this huge candle that sold off like 1.5 points, and I could not get in. Like I said, I wasn't chasing it, so and it never bounced and gave me another entry. But I pretty much, once that happened, I pretty much called it a day. I was done. I mean, I took this picture a little bit early, but I was just done for the day. I didn't think we were going to find anything else, out there. So that was that for RH. Now LULU, this was the next one I took. This was a solid trade here. I took a couple on it. Got the rejection here. Was looking for it to get to the 200 here, but I went ahead and grabbed some a little bit early, and I'm glad I did. And well, yes and no. I did take profit, but honestly, if I hadn't taken profit here, I wouldn't have had to get back in, and take another trade. Because when it bounced here, I wouldn't have taken it off. I still would have had my stop in place. And this actually worked and came down and I'd have been able to take profit and then actually hold and catch the bigger move down. But I still stayed engaged, and I still got back in it. But I cut myself off from probably about $100, $150 of profit on this, not being engaged. So, this is the two-edged sword here. You want to take profit, you want to lock it in, because this could have kept going. There's no guarantee, because this was a higher low. So there was no guarantee that this was going to come back. So in that respect, I think I made the right choice by taking profit here. But then you look at the fact that it never would have stopped me out, and it came all the way down and hit my targets. I probably should have waited. But when I started to look at this thing, and I said, hey, this is how I trade. I would do the same thing tomorrow if this happened. And I would do it because you could always get back in. Excuse me. And that's what I did. But only 217.10 on this. Should have been, like I said, $350, $360 is what I should have made on it. But kind of didn't work out for me the right way. But I'll take it. So the last trade, I don't have I didn't put the trade log on this. You could go back and look and see, where I got in at 211.23, then I got out at 212.27, just over a point. And that's what I was giving it. I was giving it a point, and this thing just popped up. But it did keep going up. It didn't just pop up and sell off. It did turn around and keep going. And this was a nice look. We lost all of this support, fell through to 200. I waited. This candle opened. It tested a little bit. It started to sell off. I got in, and then it went back up. Okay, so like I said, a lot of times when you get in these trades, it's not going to go your way all the time. It's going to go against you for a minute, and sometimes you just have to wait it out. So this candle printed, we tested the 9, and we started to sell off, and it was a nice sell-off. So when this happened, I thought we had it. I really thought we had this trade, but all of a sudden, it starts getting bought up, and it got bought through right back up through all of this resistance, and stopped me out. So after that, I was a little bit irritated because I gave back $210. So pretty much negated this trade here, plus added some more, tickets to the day. So, I wasn't really happy after that. So I just kind of made the decision after the internet started messing up where I was losing connection. I just said, that's a sign. I'm not going to fight it, and just kind of shut down trading for the day. So like I said, not a bad day. I'm not upset with it. I'm okay with the way everything came out. We're just going to go in tomorrow, see if we can finish the week strong. Don't take any unnecessary risk. Don't force anything. Just remember, we're going to practice mindful patience. So that's going to be my new buzzword, mindful patience. Now, for you guys that haven't seen the video from yesterday, the roadmap series that we did yesterday, if you're trading in a small account, if you're starting over, if you're starting fresh, whatever the case is, go back and watch that video. It's the last video. It's dated, so it's the last video in the roadmap series. go back and watch it. There's some very good information in it that everybody needs to, to get through, so you can understand where we're going to be going from here. So you guys have a great night, great evening, and I will catch you in the morning.